The Incredible Hulk, number 266, witnessed an epic confrontation between Hulk and the High Evolutionary in this epic classic that you probably haven't heard of before. The book opens with Bruce Banner, Betty, and Rick Jones driving across New Mexico on the way back to the Hulk's birthplace. Rick remembers the day on which he was foolishly wandering out onto the Gamma Bomb test site, causing the bomb's designer, Dr. Bruce Banner, to rush to his rescue, the day on which the Hulk was born. Rick tells Banner that they will go back to his lab, in the hopes that Banner would find a cure for the Hulk. Betty also remembers how she fell in love with Banner, and wonders if it was when she first met him at his work, or when she first discovered that he was the Hulk. It was difficult to maintain her love for Banner, and eventually married Major Glenn Talbot, which was wrong from the start because she could never stop loving Banner. Their thoughts are cut short when they suddenly come across an abandoned military blockade that is close to Banner's secret lab. They find a military vehicle overturned and the soldiers' clothing and weapons strewn about. Rick checks the overturned truck when a monkey leaps out and starts fooling around. Banner recognizes the ape as Dryopithecus africanus, a species which has been extinct for millions of years, and its remains were found in Africa. He also notices a strange glow coming from the area where his old lab lies hidden, but this glow apparently causes Betty and Rick to have pounding headache. Unaffected by the glow, Banner says that there could be some radiation, and they just wandered into it, and when they try to get into the car and drive away, the ape steals the keys and bolts off into the desert. Banner tells his friends to wait at the car while he tries to recover the keys. But as soon as Banner is lost to the sight, Betty and Rick start devolving into primates, just like the one which stole the keys, with a saber-tooth watching from a nearby cliff. Meanwhile, Banner decides to slow down, fearing that his anxiety would trigger a transformation to the Hulk. He sees prehistoric creatures that lived on Earth millions of years ago and wonders if time has gone mad. He then finds military vehicles around his lab's hidden entrance and wonders where the soldiers are gone, then realizes that the soldiers are the prehistoric apes themselves. He goes into the lab to find an answer, and it doesn't take him long before he finds the only answer available, namely the High Evolutionary. The armored alchemist of evolution created worlds and men, and abandoned this planet of his origin to birth another, but he has returned to Earth. The evolutionary doesn't understand how Banner remains unaffected, then deduces that it's the gamma rays in Banner's blood, which precludes the devolutionary effect. He says that it's not his intention to devolve life on Earth, as he just returned to die on the planet of his origin. He explains that he thought himself to be a god, but found that he was still far from godhood. He created a world on the far side of the sun called Counter-Earth, but then found that Counter-Earth was gone. With the aid of Starhawk, the Thing, Alicia Masters, and the golden entity known as Her, the High Evolutionary met an alien, calling himself Sphinxer. The alien explained that he took Counter-Earth for his masters, the godlike Beyonders. The evolutionary agreed to accompany the alien to meet the Beyonders, and once in the realm of these beings, the evolutionary found his planet placed on display as an interesting primitive experiment. He realized that he was nothing compared to the Beyonders, and the feeling of insignificance drove him mad and led him to try to destroy himself. But his armor, which was designed to protect him against any danger, prevented him from killing himself by deflecting his devolutionary power off into the surrounding area. Suddenly, Rick and Betty, who were devolved into apes, get into the lab, where Banner recognizes them from their pendant and wrist radio. Banner tells the evolutionary that his attempt to devolve himself out of existence has endangered the two people he cares most about, and tells him to stop what he's been doing. The evolutionary tells Banner that his genius can't help him killing himself, and that's why he allowed Betty and Rick to be placed in danger, to force Banner to transform to Hulk, whose incredible strength will destroy the defiant armor. Hulk remembers the Evolutionary from a previous encounter, while the Evolutionary tells Hulk that he turned his friends to animals to make Hulk hate him. Hulk knocks the Evolutionary out of the lab and leaps after him. The Evolutionary tells Hulk that he must destroy the armor to save his friends. The armor retaliates and blasts Hulk away in its attempt to protect the life of the Evolutionary, who no longer wishes to live. Unable to devolve the Hulk, the armor devolves the very earth upon which the Hulk stands, back to its primordial beginnings, turning it to tar, boiling lava, and choking gas. The armor, however, allows the Evolutionary to re-evolve Earth again, because saving Hulk is not seen as an attack. The armor turns Betty and Rick to savage Neanderthals, to distract Hulk and to force him to fight them, but Hulk hurls them away without hurting them. The armor accelerates the evolution of the desert itself, turning Betty and Rick into mutants, beings indigenous to the radioactive rock the Earth will become in 1,000,000 years. Betty and Rick attack Hulk, but they soon stop fighting and start choking, because the little atmosphere, which remains on this sector of Earth, is rapidly vanishing, with meteorites raining down freely in its absence. Hulk tells the Evolutionary that the meteorites can't hurt him, and that he can hold his breath for long, but the Evolutionary tells Hulk that Betty and Rick will die soon, and that he must destroy the armor to save them. Hulk clashes with the Evolutionary with great force, where Hulk proves that he can fell the godly being. He pounds on the Evolutionary and rips his armor to pieces, destroying in less than an hour the armor which took the Evolutionary years to construct. Free of his armor, the Evolutionary regains his ability of evolving and devolving whatever he wishes, reverting everyone and everything back to normal. The Evolutionary tells Hulk that he has restored his friends, the soldiers, and the surrounding back to normal, and can die with a clear conscience by devolving himself out of existence. With the Evolutionary gone, Hulk contemplates how the High Evolutionary used his powers to find a way to die, and remarks that all he wants to do with his power is to find a way to live, because although living is hard, it's still better than dying. This epic classic was written by Bill Mantlo and penciled by legendary Sal Buscema, and is ranked among my Hulk's most favorite stories. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.